Princess Charlotte's future role has been quietly confirmed, and it leaves Queen Camilla's family with no power to change it. Behind the smiles, ceremonies, and carefully arranged royal appearances, a much harder line has already been drawn around William's daughter. Camilla's relatives may stand close to the throne, but closeness is not the same as authority. One decision made before Charlotte was old enough to understand royal duty changed what could happen next. So what exactly has been protected for her? And why does it leave Camilla's family watching from the edge of a future they can never control? The answer begins with a list published by the royal family. It is not a guest list. It is not a ranking based on popularity. It is the order that decides who stands closest to the crown. At the top is King Charles III. Directly behind him is Prince William. Then comes Prince George. After George comes Charlotte. She is officially third in line to the throne. Louis follows behind her. That order is the first clear confirmation of Charlotte's future importance. She is not simply the daughter of the Prince and Princess of Wales. She is part of the closest constitutional line around the monarch. That position places her ahead of Prince Harry. It places her ahead of Archie and Lilibet. It also places her ahead of every other member of the wider royal family. But the most important detail is the person directly below her. Louis is younger than Charlotte. Under the old system, being a boy would have moved him ahead. That did not happen. Charlotte kept her place. This means her position is not based on how often she appears on a balcony. It does not depend on whether she becomes a full-time working royal. It is part of the constitutional order. That makes her future different from many royal relatives who may attend major events but hold no place near the throne. Charlotte is already being raised inside the Central Wales family. She appears beside George and Louis at carefully chosen public events. She travels with William and Catherine during major royal ceremonies. She has also learned how to stand, walk, and respond under intense public attention. None of that officially gives her a future job. But it does prepare her for the responsibility attached to her birth. Her full style, Princess Charlotte of Wales, also places her inside the family expected to lead the monarchy after Charles. George carries the strongest expectation because he is ahead of her, but Charlotte stands directly behind him. That could one day make her one of the most important supporting figures in his life. The strange part is that Charlotte's protected position would not have existed under the rules followed by earlier royal daughters. To understand what changed, we have to look at the system that once pushed women aside. For centuries, royal sons were treated differently from royal daughters. The rule was known as male preference primogeniture. The words sound complicated. The effect was simple. An older daughter could lose her place when a younger brother was born. The clearest example in the modern royal family is Princess Anne. Anne was Queen Elizabeth's second child. She was born after Charles, but she was born before Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Even so, both younger brothers moved ahead of her in the succession. They did not move ahead because they had carried out more duties. They moved ahead because they were male. Anne spent decades becoming one of the hardest working members of the royal family. She traveled across Britain. She represented the Queen overseas. She supported hundreds of organizations. She carried out investitures and military duties. None of that restored the position she had lost under the old rule. Her service and her succession place were two separate things. That history matters because Charlotte could have faced the same outcome. She was William and Catherine's second child. For nearly 3 years, she was their youngest. Then Louis was born. Under the old system, the arrival of a younger son would have pushed the eldest daughter down. Charlotte would have moved behind both brothers. But the monarchy had already changed the rule. The reform meant that Charlotte would be judged by birth order rather than gender. George remained ahead because he was older. Charlotte remained ahead of Louis for the same reason. That may sound like a small adjustment. Inside a hereditary monarchy, it was a major break from centuries of tradition. It also created a difference between Charlotte and Anne. Anne was respected for what she did. Charlotte received legal protection for who she was at birth. That does not guarantee Charlotte will become queen. George may one day have children. Those children would move ahead of Charlotte. But being female can never be the reason Louis overtakes her. That part is settled. And it was settled before Charlotte was born. Subscribe to our channel for more royal documentaries built around the laws, dates, and decisions that quietly shape the crown. Because the change protecting Charlotte did not begin inside a palace nursery. It began with an act of parliament. The key document was the Succession to the Crown Act 2013. Its purpose was direct. Gender would no longer decide the order among royal siblings covered by the reform. The law applied to people born after October 28, 2011. That date placed William and Catherine's future children inside the new system. The changes later came into force in March 2015. Charlotte was born only weeks after that. This timing matters. Her protection was not created after people saw her. It was already waiting for her. William did not need to ask his grandmother for an exception. Catherine did not need to appeal to palace officials. The rule had been changed through Parliament and agreed across the relevant Commonwealth realms. That gave Charlotte something stronger than a family promise. It gave her a legal position. The reform did not name Charlotte personally. At the time it was planned, no one knew whether William and Catherine's second child would be a boy or a girl. The law was designed for the principle itself. The eldest child would come first. The next child would come second. Gender would not reverse that order. This is why the title can say Charlotte's future role has been confirmed. Not every detail of her adult life is known. Her future charities are not settled. Her military connections are not settled. The exact number of duties she may take on is not settled. But her place inside the royal line is secure under equal birth order. The same law also defines the limit around Camilla's family. The succession does not expand because someone marries the monarch. Camilla became queen because she married Charles. Her children were born during her earlier marriage. They are not descendants of the king. They cannot enter the succession through their mother's new title. A palace invitation cannot change that. A close relationship with Charles cannot change that. Even a role inside a coronation cannot change that. Charlotte has a legal route toward the crown. Camilla's family does not. At first, that difference remained hidden inside documents. Then Charlotte was born, carrying two names that connected her to the most powerful women in William's life. Charlotte was born on May 2, 2015. The time was 8:34 in the morning. The location was the Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London. She was William and Catherine's second child. 2 days later, her name was announced: Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. Each name carried emotional weight. Charlotte was a traditional royal name. It also echoed the name of her grandfather, Charles. Elizabeth connected her to Queen Elizabeth II. Diana connected her to William's late mother. The name placed the reigning monarch and the lost princess beside each other. For William, that connection was deeply personal. Elizabeth represented duty, stability, and the institution he would one day help lead. Diana represented love, grief, and the mother he lost when he was 15. Charlotte carried both memories, but her birth carried constitutional meaning as well. At that time, Queen Elizabeth was still on the throne. Charles came next. William followed. George stood behind William. Charlotte entered after George. She was already protected from being displaced by a future younger brother. Her christening took place at Sandringham. The ceremony connected her childhood to the traditions followed by generations of royals. She wore the family christening gown. Water from the River Jordan was used. Crowds gathered outside to see William and Catherine arrive with their young children. The public saw a baby princess. The law saw something more. It saw a royal daughter whose place could not be taken by a younger son. Charlotte's early years remained mostly private. William and Catherine protected their children from constant exposure. But selected appearances slowly introduced her to public life. She appeared at Trooping the Color. She attended weddings. She joined the family at Christmas services. Each appearance showed more confidence. Still, the real test of the succession reform had not arrived. The test would come when William and Catherine welcomed another boy. Only then would the official order show whether the law had truly changed royal history. Prince Louis was born on 23 April 2018. The time was 11:01 in the morning. Like Charlotte, he was born at St. Mary's Hospital. He was William and Catherine's third child. He was also their second son. Under the old system, that detail would have changed everything for Charlotte. Louis would have moved above her. Charlotte would have been pushed one place farther from the crown. But the official order did not move. George remained first among the Wales children. Charlotte remained second. Louis entered third. The reform had passed its first major public test. Charlotte's protected place was no longer only a line inside legislation. It was visible in the actual succession. A younger prince had been born. The older princess remained ahead. This made Charlotte the most recognizable example of the change inside the senior royal family. She became a symbol of a monarchy trying to treat sons and daughters equally within the direct line. That did not make Charlotte more important than Louis as a family member. It did not mean William and Catherine valued their children differently. The distinction belongs to the crown. Succession creates an order even inside a loving family. George carries the strongest pressure because he is expected to follow William. Charlotte stands directly behind him. Louis follows Charlotte. That position could shape their adult roles. George may receive the most direct preparation for kingship. Charlotte may become one of the people expected to support him closely. Louis may also serve the crown, but his exact path may allow more freedom. The law has already made one point clear. Charlotte's place does not depend on Louis's future choices. It does not depend on whether he becomes popular. It does not depend on which child appears more confident at public events. Age settled the order. That gives Charlotte a level of constitutional certainty earlier royal daughters did not have. It also creates a barrier Camilla's family cannot approach. No child or grandchild of Camilla can move ahead of Charlotte through ceremony, favor, or visibility. The next change came not through another birth, but through a death. When Queen Elizabeth died, Charlotte moved closer to the throne overnight. Subscribe to our channel for more documentaries uncovering the family decisions hidden inside royal tradition. Because in September 2022, every title around Charlotte changed at once. Queen Elizabeth died at Balmoral Castle on the 8th of September 2022. Charles became king immediately. William became the heir apparent. George moved into second place. Charlotte moved into third. Louis moved into fourth. The change did not require a palace vote. It followed the succession automatically. William later became Prince of Wales. Catherine became Princess of Wales. Their daughter became Princess Charlotte of Wales. The titles changed. The order became even more important. Charlotte now stood only 3 steps from the throne. Charles was sovereign. William was first. George was second. Charlotte was third. This was the position created by birth, protected by law, and activated by the change of monarch. It also connected Charlotte more closely to Queen Elizabeth II. Elizabeth's name formed part of Charlotte's identity. The succession reform had taken effect during Elizabeth's reign. Now, Elizabeth's death had moved her great-granddaughter closer to the crown. At the same time, Camilla became queen consort. Her status rose dramatically, but her family's status did not rise with her. Her son did not enter the succession. Her daughter did not enter the succession. Her grandchildren did not move closer to the throne. That contrast is the center of the title. Charlotte advanced because she belongs to William's direct royal line. Camilla's relatives remained members of her private family. They could stand near the Queen. They could attend royal celebrations. They could appear in official photographs. But they could not enter the constitutional order. For a while, that difference remained easy to overlook. Then, the coronation arrived. Camilla was given the chance to place members of her own family inside one of the most important royal ceremonies in modern history. Their roles were visible. Their position looked powerful. Yet the official program exposed exactly how limited that power was. The coronation took place on the 6th of May, 2023. The details were recorded inside the Coronation Order of Service. George was chosen as one of the King's pages of honor. Camilla also selected members of her family to serve beside her. 3 of them were her grandsons. They were Gus Lopes, Louis Lopes, and Freddie Parker Bowles. Her great-nephew, Arthur Elliot, completed the group. Their role was highly visible. They walked through Westminster Abbey. They helped carry Camilla's train. They stood close to her during the ceremony that confirmed her as queen. For Camilla, it was a powerful family moment. Her grandsons were not hidden in distant seats. They were included in the procession. They were watched by millions. They later appeared with the royal family during the day's celebrations. At first, their position could appear almost equal to that of the royal grandchildren. But the difference was deeper than the camera angle. Their role existed because Camilla invited them. Charlotte's role existed because she was born into the succession. The boys served during one coronation. Charlotte's position remained after the service ended. Their names appeared in the program. Her name remained on the succession list. The pages carried ceremonial responsibility for a few hours. Charlotte carried a constitutional position every day. This does not make the grandsons unimportant to Camilla. They are her family. Their presence showed that Charles accepted their place in his wife's life. But royal closeness is not the same as royal authority. The coronation gave Camilla's family visibility. It did not give them a route to the crown. Charlotte did not need a special ceremonial assignment to prove where she belonged. She entered as part of William and Catherine's family. She sat inside the direct royal line. When the robes were removed and the abbey emptied, her position was unchanged. That is where the title becomes harder to ignore. Camilla could bring her family close to the ceremony. She could not bring them close to Charlotte's constitutional power. To understand why, we have to separate Camilla's family from the descendants of the king. Camilla had 2 children during her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles. Her son is Tom Parker Bowles. Her daughter is Laura Lopes. They built lives outside the working royal family. Camilla also has 5 grandchildren. They are important members of her personal life. Some have appeared at major royal occasions. Their relationship with Charles may also be warm and familiar, but none of that changes their legal position. Tom and Laura are not Charles's biological children. They did not become prince or princess when their mother married him. They did not enter the succession when Charles became king. Their children did not enter either. The coronation created the strongest image of their closeness to the throne. Camilla's grandsons walked through the abbey wearing ceremonial uniforms. They later appeared on the Buckingham Palace balcony. But those moments reflected family inclusion. They did not create royal descent. When the ceremony ended, the boys returned to their lives as members of Camilla's private family. They did not become working royals. They did not receive official households. They did not gain authority to represent the king. Most importantly, they did not move into Charlotte's path. This is what "left powerless" means within the title. It does not mean Camilla's relatives have no influence in their own lives. It means they have no constitutional power over Charlotte's place. They cannot vote her out of the succession. They cannot outrank her through the queen. They cannot gain a stronger claim because Charles likes them. They cannot pass a claim through Camilla to their own children. The crown follows the lawful royal line. Charlotte belongs to that line through William. Camilla's descendants do not. That distinction is stronger than any public appearance. A balcony moment can last minutes. A succession position can shape a lifetime. The only remaining question is whether Charles, as king, could use his authority to alter the balance. The answer reveals the limit even a monarch must respect. Subscribe to our channel for more serious royal documentaries built around what titles can and cannot change. Because Camilla may be queen, but the crown is still governed by law. Charlotte's confirmed future begins with one clear fact. She is third in line to the throne. She remains ahead of Louis because the 2013 law ended male preference for her generation. That protection does not depend on palace opinion. It does not depend on Charles. It does not depend on Camilla. Louis cannot move above Charlotte simply because he is male. George's future children could move ahead of her. That is part of the normal succession. Camilla's descendants cannot. They have no constitutional claim through her. Their coronation roles did not create one. Their relationship with the queen cannot create one. Their future children will not enter through Camilla either. This is the exact title payoff. Charlotte stands inside the crown's legal future. Camilla's family stands outside it. Another title is often connected to Charlotte. That title is Princess Royal. It is traditionally given to the monarch's eldest daughter. But it is not automatic. Princess Anne received it in June 1987. Queen Elizabeth chose to grant it to her. Only one person normally holds the title at a time. This means Charlotte has not already been officially appointed Princess Royal. A future monarch would have to grant it. William may one day choose to give it to his daughter after the title becomes available. That remains a possibility. It is not the role already confirmed. Charlotte's permanent position is more basic and more powerful. She belongs to the succession. Her full name also gives that future an emotional meaning. Elizabeth links her to the Queen, whose reign saw the law change. Diana, Princess of Wales, links her to the grandmother whose memory continues through William's family. Charlotte carries both names. She also carries a right earlier royal daughters did not receive. Camilla may sit beside Charles as queen. Her children may be part of family celebrations. Her grandchildren may receive ceremonial honors. But none of them can replace Charlotte. None can outrank her through Camilla. None can claim the crown because their grandmother wears one. That is why their visibility should never be confused with power. The coronation showed Camilla's family at its closest point to the center of royal ceremony. Charlotte still held the stronger position. When the music stopped, the page's work was complete. Charlotte remained third in line. Her future duties will develop as she grows. She may support George. She may become a senior working royal. She may one day receive the Princess Royal title. And under unexpected circumstances, she could be called toward even greater responsibility. Not every part of that future is known, but the foundation has already been confirmed. Charlotte is protected by law. She is placed inside William's direct line, and Camilla's family has no constitutional power to move her. The deepest question is no longer whether Charlotte matters. It is how much the monarchy may one day need her. Will she become George's strongest support, following the example of Princess Anne? Or could the princess named for Elizabeth and Diana be preparing for a duty far larger than anyone expects? This version keeps the possible Princess Royal title separate from Charlotte's already confirmed constitutional position.